Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another session of Ask Me Anything. Okay, so these sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST on my YouTube channel. The link is there in my bio on Instagram. You can go there and you can join. So every Tuesday, I speak for about 5 to 7 minutes about a topic, and then it's open to questions. So you can ask questions, it's called Ask Me Anything. So a lot of questions people do ask, and I'll answer to my capacity. Okay, so today we have come up with something which is might be slightly theoretical, but it might sound very interesting for some people. Okay, so here there's a classification of diseases. Okay, how diseases have been classified according to Astanga Hridaya. And a lot of synonyms also have been mentioned for diseases, and those are also indicators of how disease can origin. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so disease, it's the most popular word is roga. Okay, that's why we call aroga and arogya and all those words come up because of the word roga. And the word meaning of roga and all, will come to that later. And there are a lot of synonyms. Okay, close about 10 synonyms for roga. Roga, papma, jaro, vyadhar, vigaro, dukkhamamaya. We'll go to that. Okay. Okay, yakshma, atangal, roga, papma, jaro, vyadhar, vigaro, dukkhamamaya. Okay, yakshma, atangada, badha, shabdo, paryaya, vachaka. These are the paryaya means these are synonyms. Vachaka, words. These are the synonyms of diseases as per Ashtanga Hridaya. Nidanasthana is a place where diagnosis of diseases have been beautifully mentioned. Okay, that the first shloka is this, that the synonyms of rogas. Now we'll try to see what are the synonyms of Ashtanga. Okay, when you look at now, roga, papma, I'll try to explain each and every one a little bit. Okay, so you look at roga. Roga is the root of roga is from ruk or pain. So any disease, it can have pain. So it's called roga. Then papma. This is interesting. Okay, it is from papa or sin. You do sins, you fall sick. Here, sin need not be killing somebody or stealing or somebody. When you look at the body, shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. When you look at your dharma, artha, kama, the purusha, dharma. Okay, shariram adyam khalu. For maintaining dharma, your first dharma is to take care of your body. So if you knowingly, in most of the things what we do nowadays, people smoke, people drink, people chew tobacco, knowingly, they know that it is not good for health, but they still do it. That is what we call as sin. Doing something knowingly. That's one reason why people fall sick. You know very clearly that you cannot, skip your food. You skip your food and get acidic, and then you get ulcers. You are not supposed to skip your sleep, but still you don't sleep, you start getting stressed. So most of the diseases come from papa. Okay, papma is called jwara. Roga, papma, jwaro. Jwara is heat. It need not be fever. Okay, it can generate heat. Jwara, santapa jwara. Tapa, temperature. So when you've got an infection or inflammation or even fever also, most diseases have got that rise in temperature. Okay, Vyadhi is Vyatha. Vyatha is sorrowness or discomfort or whatever. That's called Vyatha. Okay, so it's in effect what it can create. Then Vikara. Vikara is, Prakriti and Vikriti. Vikara is basically deviation from that Prakriti. Vikara. Okay, that means the balance has shifted. So when the balance shifted, you get issues. So these are different ways in which you understand a roga also. Dukkha. Dukkha means sadness. Du means dushita. Kha means, Kha basically means environment or akasha or the surroundings. Kha, the word kha. Okay, so when dukkha means the environment around you becomes, grief or sorrow or sadness. That is dukkha. Okay, then what? Amaya. Amaya means most of the disease arises because of ama or a metabolic deficiency. So a lot of toxins get released, and that's the reason why people fall sick. Amaya is very important. Okay, then Yakshma. Yakshma is that very rarely you see a single thing happening. You might also have fever with cold, with cough, a combination of a lot of things. That's why it's called Yakshma. Atanga. Atanga is, you've heard of the word Atankavadi is somebody who, a terrorist who can inflict fear. So Atanka is something which, sometimes the situation becomes fearful. Okay. Gada means poison. Okay. That's why Agada Tantra means, the science which deals with managing poison. Okay. So Gada is can be happen due to poisoning of the air, water, or a lot of things. You can again fall sick. And Badha is infliction. So once you get diseased, mentally also you go down, you are preoccupied, you become stressed. It's like you are possessed with something. So these are the synonyms which Ashtanga Hridaya mentions. Okay. Roga Papa Jaro Vyadhir Vikaro Dukkhamamaya Yakshma Atanka Kada Badha Shabda Paryaya Vachaka. So these are the 10 synonyms of Roga. Now, how the disease have been broadly classified. Okay. Now, Aushadha Sadhya, Shastra Sadhya. Okay. Aushadha Sadhya is Sadhya means possible. You can pacify a disease with Aushadha or with medicines. One classification. Second classification, Shastra Sadhya. You can only pacify it used by surgical methods. Okay. Shalya. Okay. So two ways in which you can. And then, but broadly, again, it has been classified as Sadhya and Asadhya. That means which are curable and which are incurable. Diseases which are curable, incurable. It's not like Ayurveda can cure everything. No. Very clearly, okay, Acharyas have told if these things are there, you cannot treat, say you cannot treat. That means the disease becomes Asadhya. Okay. Now, how is Sadhya being classified? Okay. Sadhya or difficult disease which can be classified has been classified as Sukha Sadhya and Krichra Sadhya. Sukha Sadhya is that diseases which can be managed really easily. That is where medicinal things, all those things come into play. So where you can give small medicine, small pathya and all those things you can manage, it's called Sukha Sadhya. Krichra Sadhya, it is manageable, it is curable, but with little bit of difficulty. Where surgery comes or where severe panchakarma comes, a lot of things come and then it is being cured. So Sukha Sadhya is easily curable. Krichra Sadhya is curable with little bit of difficulty. Now Asadhya. Asadhya is incurable. Incurable is also classified under two headings. One is Yapya and one is Anupakrama. Upakrama means treatment. Anupakrama means there is no treatment. That means you cannot treat it at all. Okay. So some patients when they come, we say no, we cannot do it. We just reject it. Okay. Anupakrama. Yapya. Sheshatvad Ayusho Yapya. Sheshatvad Ayusho Yapya means remaining part of your Ayu or your life. Just like diabetes or sometimes blood pressure and all those things, you have to continue treatment lifelong. That is Yapya. That is also Asadhya. That is also incurable, but you are able to manage it. Okay. So these are the classification of disease. You can start asking questions. Okay. So this is a classification of disease which Acharya has given. There are other things which we can probably talk in the next class also. How a disease can be, that I think that's a good topic for next week. How a disease can be said that it can be cured. What all factors we look into. Okay. So your questions. Okay. Oh, okay. A lot of questions. Good evening. Vachana, good evening. Krishna, good evening. Karthik, namaskaram, namaste. Shetty. Doctor, cooking in iron vessels are better or cast iron vessels are better for iron deficiency? So I think if I am right, iron and cast iron are almost similar. Okay. Cast iron is slightly stronger where you don't have too much of reaction in the sense you still see a little bit of, if you don't use it, if you don't take care of it properly, you see rust coming onto it. Okay. So, and if you look at steel is also iron beaten into, beaten really hard. Steel is okay steel is okay because it does not give you any benefits, nor it reacts and gives you some bad effects. Okay. But iron vessel is actually very good if you're making some sabji. I'm telling you, if you can make it in an iron vessel. The problem is that the sabji might look slightly black or dark because of the presence of iron, but that is the best way you can manage your iron deficiency. Okay, not too much you get from what you call plant source. So the way to get iron is from an iron vessel. You can use an iron vessel. I ask all people to basically, when they come to for treatment, I tell them, don't use your aluminum or steel vessels too much. At least one sabji if you can make in an iron vessel, it will help you, over a little by little, little by little, over a long period of time, you'll see that you are not iron deficient anymore. Today you have a different setup. Oh, yeah, Karthik, thank you. Yes, I put a curtain in the back so that it looks okay. I hope so. Okay, thanks for that. Which is the best author book to read? Astanga Hridaya, can you type? Okay, I would say Astanga Hridaya. Author is only one, that is by Astanga Hridaya by Acharya Vakbhata. Okay, translation by Dr. Sri Kumar. English translation. Okay, Mr. T. Okay, English translation by. I've already posted it there. Okay, Acharya Vakbhata, and English translation by. Only the first two parts are available, or if you want for the whole book, then Sri Kantamurti is also available. Okay, so these are Sri Kantamurti has translated the whole book. Sri Kumar is in the process of translation. The first two parts, okay, Sutrasthana part 1 and 2, that means first 30 chapters have been beautifully translated by Sri Kumar. Okay, that is a good book. Now, which book should one read to learn basics of Ayurveda? To learn the base, see, you'll find a lot of courses online which talk about basics of Ayurveda. Astanga Hridaya for beginners. Ashtanga Hridaya is in Sanskrit, so it might not be very easy, but still I would say Ashtanga Hridaya would be the best choice. But if you have to understand the origin of Ayurveda and the Panchamahabhuta Siddhanta and all those things, then Padartha Vijnana, Padartha Vijnana is a good book which is available. You can buy that and start with. So you'll get the philosophical part of the science also, the Sankhya, Vaisheshika, all those part, everything. Ayurveda is all about everything in there. So that's also good. You have to know that also. So otherwise, Ashtanga Hridaya is a good textbook for you to start off. So in case of late periods in young females, taking pills for periods is good. Or okay, I understand. Okay, I got it. So your question is that if women, okay, young girls or women don't get their periods, they are on certain pills so that they get their periods on time. Okay, I think that's your question. I would say, normally what is being prescribed by doctors are contraceptive pills, irrespective of whatever age you are, even if you're 15 years or 16 years or you're married or something. To regulate your periods, contraceptive pills are used. So it's called estrogen, progesterone thing is there, and then for 21 days, over the next 7 days, they give iron and folic acid. So 7 days they don't give. 8th day, immediately the periods come, So sometimes that works, but I don't know to what extent it helps with the ovulation. The time of period can be perfectly calculated and predicted by using those pills. But I would say that is not a complete treatment. You have to understand what is going wrong and why the periods are not coming on time, and treating that is actually the right way. Okay, getting to the root cause and then managing that. Contraceptive pills or pills where you give hormones like this are definitely going to have long-term side effects. So it is not something which should be continued for long. Okay, to set your periods right, you can do that, okay, once or twice, but don't make that a habit. It's not good. Does Nendran chips fried in coconut oil have prana in them? Yeah, see, let us not. I don't know what your concept of prana is. If prana is what you mean, if life is something what you mean, then once the banana is plucked from the plant, it loses its so-called life, right? Okay, so and once the coconut is removed from the tree, it loses its life. And then what you do is you squeeze and you dry it and then take coconut oil out of it. So I don't know what you exactly understand by the word prana, but irrespective of whether something is living or dead, everything can give you some kind of energy. That's what prana we normally mean. Okay, something which can sustain your life in a balanced way is what we call as something which can give you prana. Okay, like milk has got a lot of prana. It can, it is probably prenanam. It can give you a lot of preeti. That's what we mean by prana. It can satisfy you at different levels. Ghee also can do that. But Nendran chips, when fried in coconut oil, and I don't know what to comment on that. Probably if you take a few pieces, if it will not disturb the balance of your body or your mind, then definitely that initial probably a few pieces. Even if you look at milk also, little bit of milk in moderation can give you prana. But if you drink more than a liter of milk, probably it can cause a stomach upset. So it's not only about what you eat, it's about when you eat, how much you eat. All those factors have to be taken into consideration. Okay. Which oil can we apply on body after bath in winters? Okay. Normally, Ayurveda mentions or advises us to apply oil before we take a shower. Okay. And the thing is that after you nowadays what's happening is you apply oil, and when you take a shower you use very harsh soap, chemical soap. All the oil goes, and in winter your skin starts getting dry. Okay, so if you can reduce the amount of soap you use, okay, your skin will still have that little bit of oil on the skin. If you want to use an oil in winters, you have to see that it cannot stick onto your dress also. Okay, any oil like sesame oil or mustard oil are also very good, okay, to use in winters. If you use mustard oil or tilka tel, gingerly or sesame oil, there's always a chance of it sticking to your body, sticking onto the clothes also. But one oil which you can use is coconut oil. Coconut oil will not stick to the cloth. Likewise, coconut oil will not give you too much of lubrication on the skin also. So it's a very, very, very balancing which you have to do. So I would say take sesame oil, apply really well before a shower, wait for about 10-20 minutes or half an hour, and then take a shower in warm water. Don't use too much of soap. Let the little bit of oil still stay on your skin. That will be really good. If you want to use as moisturizers what do you call it, for the hands and for the face, I would say Shata Dhauta Ghritam, 100 times washed ghee. I can type that also. Shata Dhauta Ghritam. This is actually a very good moisturizer for the hands and for the face during winters. Okay. When we wake up, the white layer on tongue is ama. Need not be, I'll tell you why only humans have to do a lot of tongue scraping, while animals in the wild, not domesticated animals in the wild, don't have too much of accumulation of white coating on the tongue. They don't have to brush their teeth or scrape their tongue. Have you ever thought about it? The major reason is humans are the ones which eat a lot of processed food. I don't say junk food, process could be in the form of cooking and adding oil, adding masala and all those things. So we eat a lot of cooked food. Animals don't do that. Animals depend on uncooked food, veg or non-veg. So their tongue is almost always clean. When we try eating a lot of cooked foods, tasty cooked foods, there's always a chance of the coating going up. And especially when you have got indigestion, that coating is even more. So morning when you get up and there's a little bit of coating, it need not be an indicator of too much of ama. Okay. I would say brush your teeth and then you can scrape your tongue even before you go to bed at night. Okay, you'll have your chances of getting infections in the throat and all those things will go down because your oral cavity is much cleaner. Please suggest remedies for periods, pain relief, and mood swings. Krishna. So no, you have see, Krishna. I would say you also have to look into why are you, if it is for you, why are you getting those mood swings? Okay. Periods pain, yes, I do understand. Sometimes you might be somebody who's not doing regular exercise. Also, regular exercises will help you get rid of a lot of periods pain. One major thing which you can do is, you can make at home sesame, or we call that elunda. Ella is sesame or gingerly seeds. You can make a laddu with what do you call, with jaggery. Plus, you also, specifically for pain, you also have to add a little bit of hing into it. Okay, so you add sesame, you good or jaggery, and jeera also people add. Okay, but you should be very clearly adding hing into it and have it 2 or 3, not during a period, throughout the month. You keep on having it, and then you do regular exercises. And this is if you don't have endometriosis. That's a different condition altogether. Then your treatment is entirely different. Okay, I want you to be physically active and do this. Okay, and keep your body warm. I'm a vata body type. Which oil to use on scalp? Okay, if you don't have dandruff and other issues, then you can definitely use Ksheerabala Tailam on your head. Okay, if you have got dandruff and things like that, Ksheerabala Tailam has got a chance of increasing infections and things like that, because it will promote nourishment. For a vata kind of person, you need to give a little bit of nourishment, so you can use Ksheerabala Tailam on the head. Absolutely no issues at all. Okay, but see that if you apply that and you probably catch a cold or something like that, then I would say you should approach an Ayurvedic doctor and try to probably fine tune that a little bit. Ksheerabala Tailam is good for the head, and probably Dhanvantaram Tailam can be used for the body. So what is the use of Brahmi Taila? Can we use it for hair daily? Yes. Brahmi Tailam is something which you can use for the head. It actually is very good for your hair. Okay, it gives a little bit of color also to your hair. Plus, it also keeps your head slightly balanced. I don't say it will cool your head, because Brahmi is not something which is very cooling. It will your thought process. It basically helps even when you consume Brahmi. Okay, it helps your spiritual travels towards Brahman. Okay, so it makes your mind slightly balanced when you keep on using it on a regular basis. Brahmi Tailam is actually good. Okay, you can use it. Okay. Namaskaram. Which herbs can we use as shampoo if you want to switch from the chemical laden packaged one? Okay, I would say, are you actually talking about a packed shampoo or shampoo which you want to make at home? If a packed shampoo, I can tell you very clearly, I can type that down. Okay, you see the logo on the screen on my head, above my head, Ayurveda shampoo. I just want to tell you that we did a study on most shampoos in the market, close to about 100, more than 100. Okay, out of that, only 3% of shampoo. That means three shampoos. I don't want to give the names out. Three shampoos were the only one which were 100% from herbal sources. Okay, and our shampoo which we created long back. Okay, the Ayurveda shampoo is one of them. If that's what you're looking at, I've typed and get it. If that's what you're looking at, that's a good shampoo. It's a natural one without any chemical at all. Okay, one. Second thing, if you want to make at home, I would say one thing which easiest thing what you can do is you can take hibiscus leaves. Okay, you can just probably crush those leaves, mix it with water. You will get a juicy liquid that can be applied on the hair and washed. Shika can be used on the hair and washed. Soap nut can be used and washed. You have got a lot of options. Okay, but what happens sometimes is your hair can get with Shika, Rita, and all these things, your hair can get slightly drier. So you should get the right balance. For that, I would say hibiscus leaf would be something which can be used on a regular basis. Okay. Could you say a little bit more about why paneer is not recommended? I don't say paneer is not recommended. I would say paneer need not be considered to be a superfood and to be consumed on a regular basis in large quantities. Okay. And one thing, if you look at paneer, you know, um, a milk when it is when you leave milk outside, okay, and it naturally, due to acetobacter, when it gets thickened and fermented and gets converted into yogurt. That yogurt is churned, butter is taken out, and then ghee is you heat that, and then ghee is made. So that is a normal process in which it happens. But when you look at paneer, okay, how is paneer created? Paneer is created when milk as such, curdles, when it gets really bad. So they now what people do is they squeeze a little bit of lemon into milk. They break. That means you actually spoil the milk. Okay. So paneer is something which is taken by spoiling the milk purposefully, or it happens. It is not the normal process where a curd is being manufactured, or process where the curd is being made. So milk is spoiled. That spoiled milk thing is what comes up as paneer. Okay, so you have to think how healthy it's going to be. But one other thing is that paneer is so difficult, it's so heavy for us to consume on a regular basis. And I would say that is the reason why paneer has not been mentioned in Ayurveda. So I'm telling you, by the way, the process of its making, I would say it need not be too healthy. Once in a while you eat it, it's fine, but don't depend on paneer as your protein source, and then might not be a very good choice. It is too heavy for the body to digest. Since that's what I'm trying to tell you. And the way the source also, it comes from spoiled milk. Okay, not cuddled milk. Does milk lose its not exactly, Krishna? We don't see, nutrition is something which is, again, it's a big topic. What do we mean by nutrition? So sometimes when you boil the milk, you might say there might be a dip in vitamin D, or there might be a dip in protein. All those things might happen, might not happen. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. But when you boil milk, milk, first of all, it becomes once boiled, it is easily digestible. According to Ayurveda, it becomes lagu and it's easily digestible. That's what we focus on. And milk, it is basically rasayana. Okay, it promotes all the tissues. Dhatu vardhanam. It will promote the growth of all the tissues. So that's what we are not getting into, the micronutrients of the milk. What happens when milk gets boiled? By and large, milk will promote every tissue of the body. And for that, boiled milk, yes, it's actually good. There's also, milk which is, dharoshnam, we call that. That is, dhara means the moment you are taking the milk from the cow warm, that also there are conditions where that milk has to be consumed. Okay, for that you should know the health of the cow. If it's your own cow and you know that the cow is perfectly healthy, then you can drink that milk. Otherwise, you're not sure about the what do you call, how safe that milk is going to be. It might carry some infections, right? So it's always safe to drink milk which is boiled. And in my opinion, from an Ayurvedic perspective, there isn't too much of nutrition loss. What exercises are good for a Vata body to gain little weight? A Vata body, if you're a typical Vata person, it is not very easy for you to put on weight. I would say you should focus on staying healthy rather than trying to put on weight, and then, which is not an easy thing for a Vata person. So, and as far as a Vata person goes, you are not supposed to do too much of exercise also. You are supposed to do exercise mild to moderate so that you stay healthy. And, you should eat depending upon your Agni and depending upon your hunger. And my personal advice is that don't try to put on a lot of weight. If you are maybe in your 20s or so, 30s, 40s, slowly, you will put on a little bit of weight, and you try to maintain that. Don't do too many things to actually put on weight, and that be a deviation from your normal prakriti, and that might not be healthy for you. Chronic arthritis, depression, hypertension are easily generated from within. Maybe medicine cannot fix them immediately as expected from that, but can be in sadhya category. See, sadhya category, yes, a lot of things are in sadhya category. Even if you look at diabetes, there are 20 kinds of diabetes, okay, as according to Ayurveda, varieties of diabetes. So when we look at the first stage of the diabetes, when the person becomes diabetic, it's the kapha stage, okay. And according to Ayurveda, that is sadhya roga. That stage is sadhya. Okay, so once from the kapha stage it gets into pitta stage, then it becomes very difficult. And if it gets into the pakka vata stage, then it says it's asadhya. Then you have to maintain it. Yape, you have to maintain it. But when it is in the first stage, every disease from the Ayurvedic perspective, it starts from the kapha stage, through the pitta stage, it gets into the vata stage. Every disease, when it gets into the vata stage, then it becomes extremely difficult to manage. So same thing with arthritis or hypertension and all those. Initially, when you know that hypertension is there, you look at what is going on. Probably it might be stress from might be a personal stress or official stress. Those have to be managed. Okay, or sometimes you might be overweight, or it might be due to some medicines which you are taking. Okay, so it can be a lot of factors. So trying to understand what the root cause is, and addressing that is what makes a disease curable or incurable. If there are things which unavoidable things, then you'll have to manage it. So there is no hard and fast rule of a disease being sukhasadhya or asadhya. So that makes it okay. Karthik, so next week I will come up with that beautiful shloka from Ashtanga. That will be the only topic for next week. Okay, that a beautiful topic from Astanga Hridaya, which says shlokas, which says what all factors actually make a disease sukhasadhya. Okay, it will be interesting for you. So wait for next week. Which homemade bath powder can we use on daily basis? You can powder green gram, moong. Okay, powder green gram, and you can use it as your bath powder. It works really well. It will also remove, if you apply oil in plenty, also you take a shower using that, it will help you remove a lot of oil, and it can also be used as a scrub. It works really well. But one thing, let me tell you, you have to be careful about is if you are living in a home or in flats where you've got bathrooms where the pipe is too small. Okay, sometimes what happens is this green gram powder, when you mix it with water and you clean your body, it can roll up and form clumps, and it can block your drainage. We have faced that in our hospitals. Okay, that's I'm telling you so clearly. So when we take shower in open, ponds and rivers, we don't have any problem. We apply that, and it is biodegradable. It goes into the water. So Take care. Okay, that's one thing which I want to tell you. It can also clog your drainage, but that's an amazing thing to wash your body. How many minimum hours of sleep? It depends from person to person, work, what you work, age also. I would say anywhere around, for adults also, I would not recommend anything less than maybe 7 hours. 7 hours is decent, and some people sleep up to 9 hours. I don't say it is right or wrong. Okay, it all depends upon the demand from the body. But one thing I would want to say is sleep without any guilt, because you should not let an alarm clock or somebody wake you up. Okay, you should wake up after your sleep is complete. The moment you are well rested, you know that your mind, your brain, your body, and all is fresh and ready, energized to do some work. So whatever work you, probably some people think that I've got a lot of work to do and they don't sleep. So their capacity to do work is actually less. Okay, productivity, I mean, but a well rested person, when he comes, he finishes work really fast. So sleep, don't think that by sleeping you're wasting time. By sleeping, actually you are gaining a lot of quality in your output. Okay, sleep well. So somewhere around 7. For kids it can go up to 10 hours also. Okay, I'm feeling very lethargic in the daytime, and by evening I feel very pleasant and energetic. I haven't found a reason for so. Could you please give your opinion? Samriddhi, I would say your food timings is one thing which you have to keep an eye on. Okay, are you not eating early in the evening? And one other thing is that your physical activity. I think your kapha is slowly going up. Okay, so your choice of foods might be, you should cut down on sweets. Okay, cut down on high calorie or foods which are difficult to digest. Okay, most importantly, and you should up your exercise routine and see that your kapha goes down. Okay, if your kapha goes down, your lethargy also will go down. Just do a blood check and see how your vitamin levels are, also vitamin D, or probably all those things also. That's all I comes into my mind. Okay, your lifestyle and your food habits have to change a little bit. For Nasya, which is the oil best for someone who is Vata type and a stressed mind? So I would say generally Anutaila works really well. Okay, it cleans and it balances also. But if you feel that you are too much of Vata, okay, then you can use Kshirabala 7 times potentified. We call that Kshirabala 7 Avarti. That means it has been potentified 7 times. That's enough for you. Okay, don't go beyond 7 or maximum 14. 7 is fine. Kshirabala 7 would be, I can type it down for you. Okay, it's called Kshirabala 7 Avarti. You can use for Nasya. Okay, so yeah, and see, if you don't get any oil, sesame oil itself is very good for Vata, so you can use that, maybe 3-4 drops. Can I use? Yeah, you can use in winters, even in the morning. Abhyangam Acharet Nityam. Abhyangam is something which you have to do on a daily basis. Okay, so you can apply in the morning, wait for about half an hour, 40 minutes, and then you can give a wash. See that you dry your hair really well. That's very important during winters, especially. Okay, you can apply, no problem. Okay. For Nasya, should I buy only one which comes in glass bottle or one in plastic bottle? Also fine. Times have changed. I would say, if you can get in the glass bottle, it is fine. Okay, plastic bottles. There are a lot of bottles which come in the market where they say that the PET doesn't react, and to a certain extent, it is true also. That's the reason why a lot of companies, when they pack oils or ghee, they still come in PET jars. But when it is liquid, when it is water based, it's always good to go for glass bottles, because PET actually, there are studies here, you can go through that. The plastic or thing which from the PET, petroleum emitters, that gets into water base pretty fast when compared to fat. So if it is oil, and if it is kept in a safe place, by and large, if you look from the scientific studies, they are safe, but not when water-based things are packed, like juices, soft drinks, soda, and all those things. When you pack in pet packs, plastic packets, it gets dissolved in water faster. uh, Hibiscus flowers, hibiscus leaves. Hibiscus leaves are really, really good. Hibiscus leaves is what I meant to. If you get a few flowers also, it's fine. But leaf was what I was referring to. Is it fine to take turmeric milk in dry cough conditions? Okay. Let me come to turmeric. Turmeric also, if you are consuming turmeric beyond a certain limit, if you keep on consuming turmeric daily, turmeric is extremely ushna or heat generating. And there are a lot of studies which say that turmeric or curcumin is not good for the liver if taken beyond a certain limit. That's why in general, when you look through the Ayurveda text, you don't see people telling you to mix turmeric in milk and drink. I have not come across that. Okay, so and when you cook, okay, when you're cooking in the kitchen, you see your parents add a little bit of turmeric into most of the foods, and I would say that turmeric is enough for us to function properly. If you look at the antimicrobial or all those functions, that much of turmeric on a daily basis consistently from childhood will actually help us handle a lot of things as we age. Suddenly, something happening somewhere and you mixing and taking too much of turmeric also, in my opinion, is not a good thing to do. And for for dry cough, I would say you can go for Sitopaladi churnam, okay, where you can add a little bit of honey and a little bit, probably a little bit more of ghee, and lick it multiple times rather than going for turmeric in milk. Okay, that would be my approach. Can I take bath in winters when the sun rises and weather becomes warm, or is it bad habit to take bath late in the morning? Nay, see, there are taking shower in the morning is actually a custom. Okay, but if you take a shower late in the morning, okay, without disturbing your digestion. Probably you have had your breakfast early, maybe about 8:30. You have not taken a shower. You have had a breakfast about 8:30. Then at about 8:30 you have a breakfast. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12:30 or so. You are taking a shower before your lunch. In my opinion, your elderly parents who are religious might say ha who and all, but in my opinion, I would say that is perfectly fine. Absolutely no problem. That is not going to affect your Agni. That's the only thing which I look into, whether that is going to affect your Agni or not. Okay. If you're taking a shower, say maybe 4 hours after your breakfast, see, you have your breakfast 8:30, 12:30, you're taking a shower, absolutely no issues. Go ahead and do it. Okay. But I'm not responsible for the religious part of it. Okay. Health wise, no problem. How to deal with seasonal disorder, lethargy, low energy, lack of interest and sleepiness in winter, given that there's not much sun and warm these days. See, it is extremely individualistic. Okay, lack of interest and all those things are extremely individualistic. So you should definitely find something which excites you. That's what life is all about, right? And winters are cold, and what happens is we contract also a little bit. A mind contracts, everything contracts a little bit, and we don't have the energy to go forward. So trying to keep yourself warm is very important. Not only physically, your thoughts also. You'll have a lot of cold thoughts happening. All people might be complaining. If you don't have that positive attitude, it's going to be very difficult. I understand. I don't know whether you're from Phoenix. Phoenix is not a very cold place. If you're from Seattle or somewhere, I've noticed that Seattle is it's always raining, it is gloomy, and it is very depressing to be there, especially during the winters. It's cold also. So I feel that you have to be slightly spiritual also here. You have to if it is very cold, if you can't go out, you should try doing some exercises indoors, and try to see that you get that agni or the heat going up. Heat is the only thing which will keep you focused. Saw your interview, Dr. Bhaskar and Dr. Manish, inspiring, hoping to see more such interviews in future. Great job and great service, dear. Thank you, thank you. Okay, it's all His grace. Okay, that happened. I think that happened a few years back. Okay, Dr. Manoj is my classmate. He is a Marma expert. Okay, from a town called Tudupura. What else should a Pitta Vata person? See, when you do exercise, you should understand that your Kapha goes down and your Vata and your Pitta goes up. Okay, so for a Pitta and Vata person, for a Vata person, you should do mild. For a Pitta person, you should do moderate. For a Kapha person, you can do more exercise. Okay, so don't focus on exercise which will generate a lot of heat. One thing is that, like when I was in the US a couple of months back, I see a lot of people who do jogging in the afternoons. Never do that, especially for a Pitta person. Never do that. Never get too exposed to the hot sun, or things which generate a lot of heat in the body. So it's not only about exercise, it's also about how you are going to lead your day-to-day life. Anything that can generate a lot of heat in your body will be bad. Exercise also generates a lot of heat. So see that you do a lot of exercise for a Pitta person especially. Okay, it could be slightly early in the morning before the sun comes out really hard, or slightly after, might be, need not wait till sunset, after the heat of the sun goes down, and that too moderately. Rohit, see, ama gets accumulated when your agni is not. Ushmano alpa balatvena. Ushma means the heat. Okay, agni. Ushmano alpa balatvena dhatu pakam apachada. That, see, at every level, don't let us not only think that we have got agni in our tummy. Yes, agni, that's the first place where the food gets digested. After that, each and every tissue, each and every cell has got its own metabolism. Okay, when that becomes weak, when proper combustion doesn't happen, that in your vehicle also, when the fuel is not burned, you will see your engine has got a problem. You'll have a lot of deposits. You'll have to go for servicing and cleaning. Same thing happens in the body also. When the agni goes down, it need not be only in the stomach. It can be, as I said, it can be in any cell. When the agni is slightly low, your digestion doesn't happen properly, metabolism doesn't happen properly, and the metabolic waste is basically called ama. Okay, for you to understand easily. So over a period of time, if you do things which are not right for your body, this accumulates, and then it can lead to diseases. Okay. For a singer, what foods are good for throat? See, if you look at the throat is in the kapha area. Okay, and you can't. So the reason why your voice is so good is also because of that kapha there. If you completely dry your throat, you'll see that your voice is not good. If you completely dry your sinuses out, you'll notice that there's a change in your voice. So it should be the right kind of balance. Okay, you can't increase the kapha too much, like taking too much of yogurt or paneer or cheese or sweets and all those things. The same time, you can't probably take too much of things which generate a lot of heat and reduce your kapha completely. Okay, so if you want to keep your voice intact, okay, warm water is good. Too much of hot water will also scrape the phlegm too much, and your voice might become slightly, vata dominated. It becomes smooth, okay, and slippery. We call that, slakshna, when you have got kapha there. So food, I would say, eat food on time. Okay, food which you are genetically used to. Don't have too much of spicy, and foods which are difficult to digest. Vegetables which grow on creepers can be really good, okay, for somebody like you. Can you please take some mental health topic for one of your sessions, and what does Ayurveda say about? Oh yes, I think I did take one session on the mano doshas. I did do. Okay, so probably I'll come up sometime later once more. Sure. Oh yes, green moong powder is amazing. It removes the oil from the body. It still leaves the skin supple. I use generally. Great. Okay. Pragati. Manjini, I heard yogurt should not be mixed with anything. According to either we make perugu pachadi by mixing yogurt and cooked snake gourd at room temperature. This is a bad practice. See, yogurt it's not that yogurt should not be mixed with anything, Yogurt is something which should not be consumed on a regular basis. Yogurt is not supposed to be consumed at night. There are a lot of restrictions for yogurt. And you'll be surprised to know that, Ashtanga Hridaya, when he mentions about yogurt and its use, it says that yogurt should be taken only when taken with sugar, ghee, honey, or moong, or amla. 4 or 5 things which is it's mentioned that you can take yogurt with, and surprisingly when you see all these 5 things, okay, sugar, okay, ghee, honey, amla, moong, 5 things can be taken on a regular basis and it's considered to be pathya or good for body. Okay, whereas yogurt is not considered to be pathya for the body. So when you're taking this thing which is not pathya, you mix these 5 things, not all the 5, either of these 5, depending upon your situation, condition. Okay, when you mix any of these 5, then this the yogurt which is not pathya can be managed by the body, but still it is not considered to be great food. I would say it's always good for you to go for buttermilk to be consumed on a regular basis. Yes, I think. Sorry. This is I probably explained this thing. Okay, so as I said, go for buttermilk. Okay. I'm sleeping for good numbers, but quality seems bad. I don't feel energetic or restored after other. Anyways, ensure good quality sleep. First of all, just try to see if something is bothering you mentally. Okay, it can be anything. It can be I don't know how old you are. I don't know anything about you. It could be your work. It could be your family. It could be your children. It could be your parents. And there might be a lot of things which are money also. There might be a lot of things which might be bothering you. Those things have to be resolved for you to get good sleep. Second thing is that if you are somebody who doesn't eat food on time or who doesn't regularly exercise, then you'll always find it difficult to sleep. Okay, so there are few things, if sleep is a big problem, then I would say you will have to consult somebody and see what can be set right, because there might be a lot of factors which might be contributing to bad sleep. Okay, and even probably you can go through your blood check, a vitamin assay, and try to see if some vitamins are less, magnesium less can also cause, we don't know. So I think probably a consultation would definitely help Phoenix. Okay, I want to do Ayurveda and nutrition online certification course. From which government approved institute is good? I am not very sure about it. Okay, there are a lot of institutes which give nutritional course, but Ayurvedic nutrition, see, if you have to go through Ayurvedic nutrition, then first thing what you have to do is you have to go through Ayurvedic course. Understanding the Vata, Pitta, Kapha and how it causes a disease is something which is very important for you to understand, then how you can probably substitute or add nutrition into it. If it is for your own understanding, then I think there are a lot of texts out there which you can go through and try to understand that. If you are thinking of certification courses, then if you want to prescribe for people, then I don't know which government comes up with Ayurvedic nutrition certificate course. I'm not very sure. National Institute of Nutrition is one thing which is there in Hyderabad. You can check their website out, NIN. Okay, I'm not very sure about it. If you are okay, can you suggest a good brand Ksheerabala Nasya oil? I would say that I can say probably Nagarjuna is a good brand, or Vaidyaratnam. Okay, you can, either of these two are really good brands. You can go ahead and have those. Please suggest remedy for dry cough because of acidity. Okay, your acidity has to be taken care of because acid is coming up. That's the reason why you are getting a dry cough. So a treatment is not for the dry cough, Krishna. Okay, the treatment has to be for the acidity. Take care of the acidity, your cough will automatically subside. I get so many cases on a regular basis where people have got cough and they don't understand, they don't realize that it is because of acidity. One good thing about you is you have at least found out that it is because of acidity. Okay, the moment the acidity is taken care of by your food, your lifestyle, and your stress and all those things, if that is taken care of, cough will automatically subside. I don't think we have to do anything for the cough. I'm having black raisins and fennel seeds soaked overnight and taking the first thing in the morning for acidity problem. Is it okay to drink the water in which they soaked, or should we throw that water? I think you can actually squeeze the raisins and all those things into the water. Okay, and the raisin, what after you have squeezed whatever is there, you can throw that and drink the water. I think that should be a better way of doing it rather than just eating the raisins. Soaking will only make it softer. Okay, you can actually squeeze it, the whole thing into the water, then take that raisins out, throw it, and then drink the water. Padartha Vijnana, by which author is that? Yeah, I know. I have to go through it. It's been long time. Let me see what book I have got, because it's been long time since I have actually gone through the text of Padartha Vijnana. P.V. Sharma book is actually good. Sorry, I forgot the name. P.V. Sharma's Padartha Vijnana is actually good. You can go through that. Okay, P.V. Sharma. In winters, I use heater since my hands and feet become very cold. Some people say use of heater is bad for health. No, see, I don't know why people say heater is bad for health. There are different ways in which, as days have changed, 1,000, 2,000 years back, there were no heaters, there were no cars, there was nothing like that. Things have changed, things have become easier. I want to stick to the gunas and the principles rather than how you basically try to get it done. If it's extremely bad, that's a different thing. If you look at the way oils and medicines were prepared in those days, were using firewood, but nowadays people are using gas, people are using steam. You can't say you should only use firewood. No, if the job can be done by not harming something, I would say it's fine. Using heater, at home is actually perfectly fine. And if you look in Ayurveda also, in winters they have told us to use heaters, but the difference is that they have asked you to heat. Just imagine the way they do is the heat. Your slabs of stones that is being heated, in the room that is being heated. So what happens? The room actually stays warm. There are different ways of heating the walls. It will be fire will be put on the walls, on the stones. That heat comes into the room. So directly, indirectly, if you are able to keep the room warm, don't expose your hands or your feet directly to that heat. If the whole environment is warmed by a heater, my opinion, it's perfectly fine. Okay, let us not be fanatics about things. I think we are coming to an end of session today. Almost an hour. Sattvic food sources, vegetarian. I think rice is something which is the rice with bran. Okay, it is actually a good source of vitamin B12. You can have that. Okay, and apart from that, milk is something. I think when you meant vegetarian, I think milk is out of the question. Then I would say rice is something which you can have. Green leafy vegetables, spinach, and all those things are also good. That's all. Mushroom, I don't know whether you'll be okay with it, but you have got a list out there. And if probably, I'll tell you one thing for you too is, if you can just Google out also, you'll get vegetable, vegetarian food source for vitamin B12. There are too many conditions here. Sattvic, vegetarian, and then that should also contain B12. Too many. I'm not able to process everything at one go. I'm sorry. So probably I think ChatGPT might be able to help you. I'm from Maharashtra, but in a place people have forgotten traditionally healthy recipes. I find some South Indian recipes very healthy, but sometimes I think it's not vocal for local. What's your take? I would say, the reason why I say that you have to go for something not local, something which you are genetically used to, is because, your genes, you are basically one cell your father, one cell your mother, and then your grandfather, great grandfather. So physical body, basically what your great grandfather ate, through his that one cell, it has come to you, and that's what your physical body is made of. So your body will automatically have an affinity to what your great great grandfather ate. Okay, there are a lot of studies that prove that nowadays. So I would say, if you can eat traditional foods, what your see, it doesn't make it's basically trying to go back. Even in Maharashtra, if trying to go back and talk to elderly people, or go into some library and try to find out what people have eaten, and and trying to stick to that, in my opinion, would be good. Okay, that doesn't mean the other foods are not good, but I would say these foods are the best for you if you're from Maharashtra. Okay, or if you're from Maharashtra, your father is from Maharashtra, your mother is from Karnataka, and all, then it's a combination of a lot of things. So that's something which we have to think. But otherwise, whatever is genetically close to you gives you instant energy. Can you consuming buttermilk in winters also during afternoon lunch? Yes, definitely. Buttermilk, sometimes in Kerala when it is very cold, we process the buttermilk. We heat the buttermilk with a little bit of turmeric, ginger, curry leaves, and salt. We don't boil it, we slightly heat it. Okay, it's called kachi amore. That means processed buttermilk. Okay, that's very good. Can we consume the water in which amla is dipped in salt solution after the amla finishes? No, I would say it's always good for you to throw it away. Okay. Yes. So white threads and all those things, you would have seen that. Okay. So let us throw it out. It is basically the fungus sort of whatever it is which is growing on the amla, which is come out, and a lot of other things. Even when you go and see salt, you'll see a lot of froth and white things on top. So it's coming also from the salt and also from the amla. Let us not use it. Let us throw it away. Yeah, I understand, Priya. Let me also try to Google certain things, and we'll let us ask ChatGPT. We might get a lot of things. Yeah, Samruddhi. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure. Okay, if you can help each other, to get some Maharashtrian dishes, it'll be really good. Okay, so I would say eat something which you are genetically used. So for example, if you're traveling from here all the way to UK, we say desha kala riti. Your desha is gone. That means you have left your native. The kala is gone. The temperature, all the weather conditions have changed. And then riti are your traditions and the food and all those things which you have followed. At least if you hold on to that, okay, you will have a little bit of strength. If you change that also, then probably things might not be easy for you. So let us hold on to certain things to stay healthy. Okay. So namaste, good night, and see you next week with another topic. Okay. Last question. No, it doesn't mean that amla has gotten spoiled. Okay, don't worry at all. Okay. Need not. Not in all conditions. Anubhav, Shukla, no, it's not in all conditions. I would not recommend it. It's always good for you to go through a consultation and know that which stage of psoriasis you have got, and then we can depend on what has to be used. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Sattvic food equals to need not be, garlic or onions or chili and all those things are not so-called sattvic. Okay, it need not be all vegetarian foods are sattvic. Okay, no problem, Priya. Okay, let us collectively go through Chat GPT and try to find out what is the best vegetarian source for B12. Okay, good night.